going to go ahead and continue with our talks on school threats and school safety. And with us today, we have school board member Kyle Gutshall, who is District 4 school board member here in Shenandoah County. Thanks for coming, Kyle.
Sure, thank you.
And also I have with me Captain Whitney Mauck. Captain Mauck is the division head here with the Shenandoah County Sheriff's Office that the school resource officers report to. So let's talk just a little bit about some of the issues we've talked to other guests about. One is I think we've had like 18 incidents, whether it's verbal threats, social media,
18
posts or shares in 34 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like every other day we're getting some type of an incident that happens. But we're also not different than other jurisdictions throughout the Commonwealth. I mean, this is happening, to my understanding, in other school districts and other counties. You know, I asked Dr. Shepard her thoughts on that, and I agree. You wonder if those incidents of school violence that happen right at the beginning of the school year added to that phenomenon.
Yeah, I thought they did. I mean, you had the Georgia shootings, and with the way social media is now, it's so easy to pull up TikTok or Instagram, and all you see is about that shooting. And, I mean, I said at one of our recent meetings, we have a crisis in our country right now. You've got the social media, you've got the cell phones, and the thought, a lot of these kids, they don't think the consequences are real. And you all are seeing that here, even in Shenandoah County, where some of these kids have thought that they can try to get attention or can kind of mess around, and there not be consequences. But fortunately, you guys took action and kept things safe for us. But I'm seeing it every day. I mean, I'm a young person. I'm on social media. But you see people not realize that the things they say can be taken very seriously.
Right.
And we're starting to see some of that catch up to some of these people.
Right, and I tell you, I mean, I believe there was at some point, I believe it was on one of the social media platforms, about some kind of a challenge out there that goes out to young people. Mostly young people are on these sites, but it was a challenge related to school threats.
Just clear-minded. It's such a ridiculous thing to just think about that.
Right,
and
there are people
and
that
it's
are
happening.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling, but
right. And there are people out there that they want to participate in the challenge.
Yeah,
it's a different world we live in.
Well, it shows how strong of a grasp social media has on young people and people of all ages. But I mean, you think about the kind of consequences that you can get in by doing those things. It's not worth it.
Right.
But social media just has control over so many people that they don't think about those things.
Right. Now, getting back to consequences, I mean, one of the things that that in this jurisdiction that we're dealing with is, of course, if there is probable cause and we can make a criminal charge, we're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
There are also school consequences that are associated with that. But then there are also these other incidents where there's no probable cause. It's that phenomenon of like sharing out a social media post where, you know, the person didn't create it, but they are sharing it out and it's creating the fear and the anxiety as it's being shared out.
Yeah.
Those things are being dealt with internally. I know one of the other things we talked to Dr. Shepard about with regard to issues in front of the school board is the issue of cell phone use by students while they're at school. It's my understanding there's like 2 options that you guys are looking at right now.
Mm-hmm. We have 2 very good options, somewhat closely crafted to what Governor Youngkin proposed with he's got an executive order and some guidance passed along to us. It is something that we're working on hard, and we're in the final stages. Mm-hmm. You know, the 2 policies are very similar in the way that they're structured, so I'm confident that one of them will get passed through at our upcoming meeting, and it's something that's necessary. A lot of school systems around us have been working on this as well because they see that, you know, the data shows that students are more likely to perform at a higher level without cell phones. It's just a matter of will it be all day without them or most of the day. So that's something we still have to get ironed out, but optimistic that it'll be in there very soon.
Right. We have a youth leadership camp, and it's in the county, but it's also in a remote part of the county. So cell service is not the best out there anyway. And one of the things we do is we take cell phones from the kids the first day. And we let them know if there's a need for them to call a parent, if a parent wants to come and visit them in a meal, breakfast or lunch or dinner, that all those things can be arranged. But they have access if they need to get in touch with a family member. Mm-hmm. But then after a couple of days, we start seeing them socialize and, there's more personal connectivity, I would.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 days, it's like the first drop-off day, it's nobody wants to talk to each other. Then the next day, they start to talk a little bit more. But by Tuesday, I mean, you get to see them just be kids again.
And that's what, I remember going to that leadership camp when I was younger, but I don't remember cell phones being as prominent. I mean, we had them, but we could go without them at that point. Right. It's harder for kids now. But I do think it's going to be a good thing for our schools. And like we've mentioned, it's going to be tough the first few weeks. And we do have that planned in where it's going to be a slow rollout, a couple weeks to make sure that everyone can get adjusted. I mentioned at our last meeting, the first violation will be turning over your cell phone to the office. Mm. And I said that the office is going to be full of cell phones there at the beginning. Mm. I mean, because for a first offense, a lot of kids are going to get caught with it. If we are truly enforcing it the way it will need to be enforced, there's going to be a lot of, I believe, issues at the beginning, which is understandable. But hopefully after that, as we head toward the second semester, it'll be straightened out and we can move forward in a positive way. But like you said, definitely going to be tough there at the beginning.
I think so. Well, I think it's something that can be overcome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As we also talked a little bit about, we appreciate the consistency in communication through the superintendent's office when we're dealing with issues. I mean, our position is if there's a criminal charge, we'll put something out on it. If there's some high level of threat, we will put something out. But for the most part, when it's not a criminal charge or if it's something that, it's being handled internally by the school system, that comes out of the superintendent's office. Right. And just so our listeners know, those are not things that are done in a vacuum, created in a vacuum. I mean, we're talking to them about what the messaging is. They're asking us, and we're making sure that we're trying to put out consistent messaging. Mm-hmm. I realize that from time to time, people, maybe they want more information, and there may be more detail that we have, or maybe there's more detail that we just can't go into. Mm-hmm. But what we try to do is we try to make sure that people know that we are communicating, we've identified the issue, and we're addressing the issue, and here's what we can put out, and we want you to have this information going forward. So I don't know if you wanted to talk about that, or if you get any calls on that or anything.
I think transparency is great, and I think Dr. Shepard, since she's come in, she's been very strong in that area. I know your department's always very transparent, and I think our community asks that of us, mm-hmm. Of all the different agencies, that we need to be transparent. I know it's a very information-hungry society we live in right now, but people expect that because, especially with their kids and school safety, which is completely understandable. So I do appreciate Dr. Shepard, the way that she conducts herself at the school board office, and then the way you guys do as well as we continue to work together on this. Mm-hmm. I know the community is very appreciative of the way that we communicate with them so they know what's going on when it comes to the schools.
Well, I think with my history with regard to law enforcement, we're doing things now that we didn't even think about 30 years ago. One of the things I think we're trying to do is to exactly what you said, just move in a positive direction and try to improve after each incident, after each training or each requirement that comes up. We're constantly trying to improve, and quite frankly, I think Shenandoah County is on a good path.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, we've definitely seen a lot of improvements in different areas in the school system, and you see what you guys are doing here. And like I said, I mean, the community is very supportive of the sheriff's department and the school system, and we have a good, partnership together with our SROs and everything else that we do. So I think we're definitely moving in the right direction, and hopefully the community and, you know, the children will kind of realize the others that have gotten in trouble, that they can behave and know not to do those sort of things with their cell phones, because they can be very good, but they can also get you in a lot of trouble. So we just hope that message has been kind of sent out to everybody, that that consequences are there. You just need to go to school and do what you got to do. And I think it would help all of us in the community.
Right. All right. Well, Kyle, listen, I really appreciate you coming in here and spending a few minutes with us. And look forward to seeing you. I guess we'll be talking with you guys here in a week or two. Yeah. And anything you need from our office or that we can improve on, we're always glad to get constructive criticism and constantly improve. So
I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. Always good to sit down with you too. And we look forward to hearing from the Sheriff's Department and looking forward to moving forward.
All right. Thank you.